Hello student, I am SK Mehta with a new chapter, Structure of the Atom. In this chapter, we will discuss different concepts of the atoms like discovery of the subatomic particles, electron, proton and neutron, structure of the atoms, different models proposed by the scientists, distribution of electrons, electronic configuration, atomic mass, atomic number and valency. So let's start. First, the charged particle in the matter. Atoms have three subatomic particles. They are electrons, protons and neutrons. Electrons are negatively charged particle, while protons are positively charged particle and neutrons have no charge. Electrons are represented as E minus, proton as P plus and electron small n having no charge. The mass of the electron is 1 upon 2000 the mass of the hydrogen atom. The mass of a proton is equal to the mass of the hydrogen atom and is taken as unit 1. The mass of a neutron is equal to the mass of a hydrogen atom and is taken as unit. As a summary, we can say electron have unit negative charge and the value of charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Similarly, proton has unit positive charge that is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb and neutron have no charge. That's why we represent E minus, P plus and neutron no charge. Now we will discuss the discovery of subatomic particle. We will discuss the discovery of electron. In 1900, a great scientist J.J. Thomson discovered the presence of the negatively charged particle called electrons in the atom. In 1886, Goldstein discovered a new radiation in the glass discharge and called them canal rays. These rays were positively charged. This later led to called canal rays. These rays were positively charged. They are called protons in the atom. In 1932, Chadwick discovered the presence of a particle having no charge in the atom called neutron. Hence, the electron is discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1900. The proton was discovered in 1886 by Goldstein and neutron, the subatomic particle, is discovered by Chadwick in 1932. These are the subatomic particles present in the atom. Now, there is a different concept proposed by different scientists about the structure of the atom. First of all, we will have a model proposed by Sir J.J. Thomson. It is known as Thomson model of an atom. According to the scientists, an atom is similar to a Christmas pudding. The pudding had positive charge and the electron having negative charge were like plums on the pudding. He proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere. Positively charged sphere and the electron are embedded in it. You will see the concept in the diagram. There is a cloud of the proton and electrons are embedded inside the sphere. The negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude. So the atom as a whole is electrically neutral, means atoms have no charge or neutral in charge. After that, there was another model proposed by Rutherford, and the model is known as Rutherford model of an atom. The model that was proposed by Thomson was totally based on the hypothesis. There was no any scientific proof of that model. That's why there was a demand of a scientific proof. That's why another model was come in the light, the Rutherford model of an atom. Rutherford demonstrated an experiment, and he do his experiment on a gold foil with a alpha particle. The whole experiment is known as Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. In this experiment, Rutherford allowed a beam of fast moving alpha particle having positive charge to fall on a thin gold foil. He observed that most of the alpha particle passes straight through the gold foil. Some of the alpha particle were slightly deflected by a small angle, and very few alpha particle appears to rebound, as you see in the diagram. Most of the alpha particle, they go through the sheet of the gold foil. Some of the alpha particle were slightly deflected, and few of them are get deflected by same angle. So that was the experiment done by the Rutherford. Now, on the basis of the Rutherford experiment, he made some conclusion, and he concluding his idea into 3 points. Most of the space inside an atom is empty because most of the alpha particle pass through straight line without any disturbing. Number 2, the atoms had a small nucleus having positive charge because some of the alpha particle having positive charge were slightly deflected by small angle. And third, the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom, because very few alpha particle appears to rebound, and most of the positive charge and mass of the atom is lie in the center of the nucleus. So these were the experiment and conclusion made by Rutherford. So Rutherford has concluded his idea in the 3 points. An atom has a positively charged nucleus at its center, and most of the mass of the atom is in the nucleus. Second, the electron revolve around the nucleus in different orbit. Third, the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. So these are the conclusion of the experiment made by the Rutherford. But still there is some confusion, and the confusion was that when a charged particle moves, he always loses some energy, and when he loses some energy, the path of the orbital radius of that particle will get decreases, and ultimately the electron will fall in the nucleus. That was the drawback, that was the defect of the Rutherford. Any particle in a circular orbit would undergo acceleration, and during acceleration the charged particle would radiate energy. So the revolving electron would lose energy and fall in the nucleus, and the atom would be unstable. We know that atoms are stable. You can easily understand the concept through the diagram. Here is the path of the revolving of the nucleus. He continuously losing his energy, and ultimately he will reach in the nucleus, and the atom, the concept of atom will be lost. But the atom is a stable particle. Stable atom is a stable. Now on the basis of this drawback, a new concept was come in light. That was the another model of the atom, that was Bohr model of the atom. Niels Bohr, a great scientist, proposed a model of the atom, and he just simplified and he added some new things in the Rutherford model. The concept of the Bohr model was an atom has a positively charged nucleus at its center, and most of the mass of the atom is in the nucleus. Second, the electron revolve around the nucleus in a special orbit called discrete orbit. Means electrons are moving in a special orbit, and that orbit is called discrete orbit. Means the orbit do not going to lose or gain extra energy. Third, these orbits are called cell or energy level. These orbits are called cell or energy level and are represented by the letter K, L, M, N as you see in the diagram. The innermost cell is known as K, later on 2, 3, 4 and so on, and its numbering is start from the center to periphery. While revolving in the discrete orbit, the electron do not radiate its energy. So that was the concept made by the Bohr, that the electron moving around the nucleus in a definite energy cell, and that cell is called cell, S-H-E-L-L, cell. The cell that is closer to the nucleus is K, L, M, N. Now the distribution of electrons in different cell. How can we distribute the electron in different cell? The Niels Bohr proposed some formula. On the basis of the given formula, we can easily distribute the electrons in different cell. The distribution of electron in different cell was suggested by Bohr-Bury. The following are the rules for filling electrons in the different cell. The maximum number of electrons in a cell is given by the formula 2n square, where n is the number of cells. You see in the video clearly where n is the number of cell. Simply you put the number of cell here and you will get the number of maximum number of electron in a cell. That's why we will have K means 1, we will have 2 into 1 into 1, you will have 2 electrons. For the L, 2 into 2 into 2, 8 electron, M 2 into 3 into 3, 18 electron, and similarly 2 into 4 into 4, 32 electron. So these are the number of maximum electron an orbit can have. On the basis of this formula, we can easily identify, we can easily calculate the number of maximum electron that orbit can have. The maximum number of electron that can be filled in the outermost cell is 8, and electrons cannot be filled in a cell unless the inner cell are filled. Thank you. बच्चे 14 मिनट की वीडियो है, इसको कैसे चलाएंगे हम लोग?